We're at the calm before the storm. In all seriousness, Bitcoin, XRP, and almost every single crypto for that matter, right now is at a pretty crucial point. And I'm already sorry, guys, in this video I had a little bit of an audio problem. I accidentally zooted the button up a little bit too much. But what we're talking about in this video is guys like Gary Gensler, across the board not being called a good guy. Congressman, GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer, saying SEC Gensler is a bad faith regulator. And also the fact that different lawyers are saying, hey, the judge could surely rule that XRP and the post sales of that from 2018 forward are not security. We also have to talk about 10 XRP facts, or rather myths, addressed by the Ripple CTO. Some of the major things going on in this world as well. And of course, let's talk about the XRP Bitcoin prices, as right now, like I said, we're at the calm before the storm. If you've taken a look at the Bitcoin price over the last couple of weeks, you've probably noticed that it's been stable. It's literally been bouncing between like 28.7 thousand and a line that's been increasing for sure, but it's basically just been flat throughout all this time. And so there are two ways to interpret this title. One is it's the calm before the storm, because we've got a very important decision happening on April 18th, about 10 days from now. And second of all, it's because Bitcoin has been quiet for what? About a month of almost no movement. And so rather soon, it's going to either break out towards the upside, leading everybody to get excited, yay, party, party, or crash, potentially towards the 200 weekly moving average at about $25,500. And that would leave everybody pretty sad. Anyway, guys, if you've not done it yet, make sure you press that like button. And let's get into all the daily crypto news. And there's actually a lot of other news that's not really crypto as well, which I personally think is worth a cover. I mean, take a look at everything on the left right here. It's absolutely crazy, the situation that the world is in right now. And I really want every single person that's watching my channel to understand that this ain't normal, all right? What's happening with these banks? It's a lot scarier than many people realize. And the fact that even Trump has come to realize that the US dollar is in a really scary position. What that really showcases for the most part, guys, is that right now, there's a shift happening. And the thing is, this strategy that used to be the key for 100 years of just go invest in the stock market, what Warren Buffett was really good at, and a lot of other people for that matter, it might not work anymore. And this idea of, but just saving money and all these concepts that worked for about 100 years, yeah, they're going to stop working probably soon. And again, a lot of people have been calling me out in the comment section saying, Dusty, the dollar ain't going nowhere. But I'd like to refer back to Trump again, because if even he's saying that the dollar is in a dangerous position, then my point has been made. Again, we're not looking at only bankers like JP Morgan, etc., that are all saying that things are not in a good position. No, we're even talking about the former US president. And also realize, guys, we've had a couple of other crazy things. For example, they're actually a no name. 3 US congressmen introducing a new gold standard bill to stabilize the US dollar's value. It's wild. Anyway, getting back to what I said earlier, probably the most important news right now, the most important by far, is that we have Gary Gensler sitting before Congress on April 18th. You guys have to understand that that will be a key game-changing moment for crypto, because he's basically going to be asked about what he thinks about crypto regulation. But more importantly, it's been pretty vague, right? We've had a lawsuit from the SEC against Ripple, and the whole Gary Gensler in front of Congress is going to decide exactly why they brought that case, why they think everything is a security, and whether or not things have actually been established in terms of crypto regulation. Again, let me remind you, Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC in the US, has always claimed that things are quite clear, but actuality, it's not really the truth. And in many of his statements as well, he says it's kind of like the Wild West, so it's kind of contradictory. And so if only, and this is what we're all hoping for, the people in Congress are adequate enough to ask him the proper questions, and they're not just gonna let him slippery slide through like they did with TikTok, like they've done with Facebook. It could be the crucial moment that we've all been waiting for, as Gary Gensler will have no way out. He is going to have to make some statements about crypto that are either completely useless because the Congress people are useless and the questions is just too plain, simple, etc., or we're going to finally get something out of him that we've been waiting for all these months. We've very often talked about him needing to either get deposed, which is him getting taken off that throne or just questioned properly about his choices and their policy. With that, I mean the policy of not trying to make rules, but just trying to go for more and more enforcement cases and requesting more budget only to sue more people. But again, all that and more we'll be seeing April 18th. And I honestly think that it might be wise and it might be possible to set a couple of juicy trades. The way I've been thinking about it, guys, this could be a massive opportunity, because if he says one crucial thing about crypto regulation, we could see a massive spike in the prices. Right? I mean, he said all cryptos except for Bitcoin are securities. He said that multiple times. So all his negativity, I don't think it's going to hurt that much. But a positive or a slip through the cracks, that might actually pump crypto prices a lot. So that's something we're keeping in the back of our head. He might slip up. And with regards to the Bitcoin price, as you can see it right there, we're in a little bit of a critical position. I mean, I'm not so sure why this line is not being shown to you guys right now. I'm not so sure what's wrong with the visuals right here. Again, new setup, trying things out. Hopefully you can see it if I move it a little bit. But yeah, there's a line at about $28.6, $28.7 thousand. That's basically where Bitcoin has been getting rejected at for the last month or so, or rather, it's been moving sideways for about a month. The actual rejections only started about, let's see here, March 22nd. Again, looking back at the history of it all, this has been a crucial point for Bitcoin. And so it's not so strange that we're facing a lot of resistance here. But the thing is, at some point, we have to make a decision. At some point, we have to either break towards the upside or break down, as right now we're in a little bit of an indecision mode. And so again, I want to reaffirm that right now we are in the calm before the storm. A massive move is about to happen. And the moment it happens for Bitcoin, it'll translate into other altcoins, or and again, this is very important too, the moment that the Ripple lawsuit sees some sort of advancement, we're probably going to see some crazy pumps or crazy decisions all over the board as well. Our pattern for XRP has finally played out, by the way, so we can actually take those off right now. And the only thing we were watching for right now is the 200 weekly moving average, as it sits at slightly below 50 cents, 50 cents itself being this major psychological barrier, right? As it's a very nice, juicy round number. Right now, all we're waiting to see is for tomorrow's close. And that's actually a lot more important for Bitcoin as well, right here, right now, what level Bitcoin's price is going to close at tomorrow. Again, a close above 28.7 thousand would be extremely bullish, just insane, but I don't expect it to happen. For XRP, more crucially though, we still want this close to be above 50 cents, and so we have about a day or so more to solidify this. I'll be watching the XRP price quite closely, as the moment it falls below 50 cents, just before the weekly close, the bears have taken the upper hand, and that would not be too juicy for right now. But at the end of the day, like 95% of the XRP price right now is based on this lawsuit. And from a certain perspective, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, Ripple operates globally. The XRP ledger is available globally, and it works overtime doing a lot of crazy things. And the fact that we're only talking about this lawsuit is because it's the majority of the price mover, right? Logically speaking, every single piece of utility could move the price, but the one that's going to move it the most is getting the proper clarity, which I guess allows for more utility. Anyway, reflecting back on the entire market, we're back in neutral territory. It seems like I can just make the same video almost every single day talking about nothing happening because, hey, nothing is happening. What we did see that was pretty interesting was a guy that said, here are 10 things the XRP community needs to get right. And David Schwartz also went on to explain his thoughts on those matters. Let's talk about 10 things nobody can speak for XRP Ledger, and these are just my own views. Also, it's dangerous to say something will definitely not happen. I'm talking about what is reasonable to expect. And it was basically about a couple different things somebody said the XRP community needs to understand, and the CTO of Ripple and the co-creator of the XRP Ledger gave his opinion. So let's talk about those. But first, guys, again, if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you press that like button. And also, uploading now takes like 10 times more time because we're uploading in 4K. So make sure you watch these videos in the highest quality as well because, well, you can, right? XRP can't be pegged to gold, silver, or anything else. Well, now, in theory, nothing prevents someone from trying to peg the price, but it's really just not logical as to why anybody would want that. XRP can't, again, these are the 10 things, right? The 10 commandments, sort of. XRP can't magically become a stablecoin. Well, someone could offer to redeem XRP at some fixed rate for something else to set a floor price, but why would anyone want to do that? Why wouldn't they just issue a stablecoin and not mess up XRP? If you want a stablecoin, buy one or create one. Stablecoins issued on the XRP Ledger are not XRP. You can issue stablecoins on the XRP ledger, but those are distinct assets from XRP itself. I mean, how could a stablecoin that's issued on the XRP ledger be XRP? It doesn't make sense because XRP is XRP and the stablecoin is the stablecoin. They have an issuer who typically redeems them and controls them, unlike XRP, which doesn't work that way. All right, again, 5 out of 13. The XRP ledger requires electricity to operate. I'm not sure how this could be controversial, so let's not even talk about that. XRP can only exist in the XRP ledger, otherwise it's an IOU. The XRP ledger is an authoritative record of XRP ownership. You can create XRP-denominated assets elsewhere, but unless they're somewhere or somehow one-to-one tied to the XRP on the XRP ledger, they're not XRP, but a derivative or IOU. And the most interesting thing to say right there is, in theory, XRP could work on almost any single platform out there, right? I mean, if you talk about it, it's like wrapping. So you take this XRP on the XRP ledger and wrap it where they hold this, let's say 1000 XRP for you, and they issue some sort of XRP token on Ethereum, allowing you to utilize XRP on the Ethereum network without XRP actually existing on that platform. And that's actually the entire concept behind wrapping, making sure you can utilize the asset, or rather the price and the idea of that asset, on other networks that are not natively available on those. And it's basically the same as an IOU, meaning I owe you something. Moving on, XRP has nothing to do with ISO 2022. The ISO 2022 is a messaging standard for payments. XRP is a crypto. While there could certainly be projects using both of these things, there's no real inherent overlap between them. That's because it's a definition issue right here. XRP having to do something with ISO. We talked before about the word compatible and how it's not completely correct, but more so that they've chosen, because again, Ripple works tightly with all these guys, to make sure that XRP as a name, so to speak, just works in the new messaging system. And so do a couple of other cryptocurrencies. Interledger doesn't require XRP. IOP works with any asset, either for payments or settlement. It works well in conjunction with the XRP ledger payment channels. You can use IOP for pure dollar payments if you want. Then all the money in the world would not run across the XRP ledger. Obviously true. I mean, it's never going to have all the money, right? Then again, he just says massively scaling blockchain is hard. That doesn't limit use of XRP to denominate payments or using payment channels, IOUs, derivatives, etc. Most of the world's payments don't belong on a public blockchain, which again makes sense. What he's just saying in there is, the potential is limitless, but most of the world's payments don't belong on a public blockchain because it just wouldn't really make a lot of sense. To have every single payment in the world exist on the XRP ledger, it's just strange. So I don't know if any people are really out there saying that. The US government is not going to buy your XRP. In theory, they could. Tying XRP to one particular jurisdiction plays to its weaknesses rather than its strengths. Crypto work best when their ownership is diverse, but of course it's possible. RippleNet is totally different from the XRP ledger. XRP and the XRP ledger really are what you see is what you get. If you're imagining that there's some massive secret you're imagining, you imagine anything about anything, imagining things doesn't justify believing them, be excited about is actually there or build things. And so the reason I also like to show it is indeed so some of the crazy talk about the XRP price or XRP ledger goes away. At the end of the day, guys, I'm a very big XRP enthusiast. I hold a ton of XRP. I think Ripple as a company is pretty awesome in what they do. And I think owning Ripple stock is also not a bad idea. But I also just like whatever XRP ledger is involved with, or a lot of the ideas that people write out or are building right now. But let's be truthful here. There's a lot of misinformation being spread surrounding XRP and a lot of wishful thinking, like we've seen with the Riddler, etc. Again, can XRP get to $100? I'm the first guy to tell you, of course it could. It doesn't make sense for anybody to tell you it's not possible for XRP to go absolutely wild. But when we're starting to talk about $35,000 because of this or that, I'm like, sure, let's keep things a little bit more realistic. It's similar to talking about Bitcoin hitting $40 billion. It's like, well, let's take it a couple steps back and talk about things that are attainable within our realm of understanding. On the contrary, and I gotta admit this to you guys as well, it's pretty difficult to have this realm of understanding when things are changing so fast. I mean, look at AI and just how quickly that's grown over the past couple of months. And so when you really start to think about it that way, whatever you thought was not possible at all could literally become possible in a couple months from now. And from that perspective, all I'm doing is just accumulating as much crypto as I possibly can. That's the only thing I know that has I'd say actually it's not the only thing I know, but it has the best risk reward ratio. Crypto as a whole genre. What I mean is, if I have dollars, well, it's not in a good situation right now. I don't trust the banks and the dollars being printed like crazy. Negative, right? Makes it positive. No, it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't. So then, okay, but the dollars, where do you store them? In a bank? Well, I don't trust them really that much. In your house, can get robbed. Okay, gold then. Gold from a certain perspective is good, but the governments are buying a ton as well, which again has two sides. They might manipulate the crap out of it soon, and they can always take it away from you, which I don't really like. Homes, again, if push comes to shove, they can take it away from you, and almost any asset they can take away. This crypto, however, they cannot. Let's say you do the worst things imaginable in the world. You still own your crypto though. Look at Do Kwon. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried. If they were smart with it, and they probably were, they probably still have a couple $100 million in crypto laying around somewhere. And I'm not telling you this because I think you're a criminal or something. All I'm saying is, whatever happens, all right, push comes to shove, they will not be able to take your assets away from you. And I think that's the most important part. That does not mean I think all the banks will be going away, which is partially why I'm so excited about XRP. I think they're going to integrate into this system that's revamping and changing to capitalize on both sides of all this. But I'm just always thinking out there for how to preserve money, how to make more money, all that stuff. And I share that with you guys, which is also what part of this video is about. Anyway, that was it for right now. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the news. If you did, make sure you press that like button, and I'll see you guys again, hopefully, in another crypto video later today.